There is our leader, Jeff Burton, then Kyle Busch, Kenseth Ambrose, and Stephen Wallace. What about Jimmie Johnson? Remember, he had to go to the back of the pack because of that speeding penalty. And there comes Jimmie in the 48 car, right behind Kevin Harvick. Harvick is 7th, Johnson is 8th.
They've got a lot of racing to go here, and he has plenty of time to still get to the front. You would think with all the pit stops they had made and the cautions they've had, he has enough fuel here now as we see him move to the inside of Kevin Harvick.
Right here, we seem to be really strong getting down in this corner with a good braking package. Car brakes it really straight, nice and straight in that corner.
More on the 88 car regarding the point situation with Brad Keselowski. Shannon.
Yeah, Doc, of course he's going to want to capitalize on Bowyer and Edwards' bad luck. But, you know, I asked Brad Keselowski, it's his first time here at Watkins Glen, how he races this racetrack, not having anything to compare to. He says he watches the veterans. So you see Kevin Harvick in front of him. You better believe that Brad Keselowski is watching his line and watching how he is handling this track. Now, despite that front-end damage from an earlier incident, Brad Keselowski says that car is great. He says he is very happy with it, especially in the S's. And as long as they don't have a green-white checker, they're good to go to the end.
Got some damage on the hood, but I guess aerodynamically that does really, if as long as it's in the middle of the hood, it doesn't really affect the car that much.
Well, it's not that much of an aerodynamic racetrack, but it does need a little bit of that, and he doesn't have a lot of damage. The car is really excellent. I mean, his teammate Jimmie Johnson, the 48, is probably the best car out there. You have to assume they're set up similar. They're both running real good. Jimmie Johnson's made up a couple of spots here already on this restart.
Two-car, Clint Bowyer and the points leader. 55 of Robby Gordon is now on pit road. As Bowyer flashes by, Gordon would be coming in for what should be his final stop of the day. Mike?
And Doc, just a moment ago, Robby came over the radio and said we are running extremely hot. Water temperature at about 250 degrees. His words were, we're done, but they're still going to evaluate, see if they can keep this thing running. He's on pit road right now. You can see the steam boiling out from under the hood. Team going to work there, but it does not look good for the 55 car. Trying to cool it off by removing some tape. He's away, but we'll have to pay attention and see if they can go the distance.
Robby, driving a Dodge, gets engines from Gillette Evernham, has been very passionate about how good those engines are.
Look here, Kyle Busch has caught Jeff Burton.
Yeah, we were writing him off.
Yeah, we were.
They've had everything in the world to happen and strategies to go out the window, you know, tires rolling across and things. And here he is trying to take the lead from Jeff Burton. Yeah, they haven't had the greatest of pit stops. It's a new team. You wouldn't expect them to do all that well there. But they've got a driver that knows how to get it done if you just get him on track. And he's trying to make that inside pass on Jeff Burton right here as they go through turn 1.
You see he jumped on the brakes here, saw some smoke off the tires on the right side. For you Kyle Busch fans, he had an uncontrolled tire on pit road during a stop, and they sent him, he had to come back on pit road, put him back toward the back of the pack. And he is now challenging for the lead. Here is the points leader, Dave.
And Doc, I want us to look at that replay again before we update the two. The 60 coming to the inside of him. The shot was so hard as we see him now going back down into turn 1. You look at the 60 pulling out there. Watch just how hard he gets into the 2 of Clint Bowyer. Bam, right there. And I mean, that's a hard shot. Something has to bend there. That was Clint's comment. He thinks maybe the track bar is bent or something. And then his team told him, you know what? If the tire's not rubbing, which they weren't, you don't have to come to pit road. You're just going to have to drive the heck out of it, buddy.
That was a hard enough shot to bend some of the suspension under this thing. Definitely hurt the lap times. We're looking at his lap times are a couple seconds off the pace.
Yeah, he started back in 17th today, got all the way up to 2nd place, and now that contact has cost him, he's moved back to 28th position.
Here comes Jimmie Johnson, looking inside Marcus Ambrose.
He is flying right now.
Really
He's just picking these guys off as he comes to them. He said he needed some more experience and more time on the road course. I think is serving him well because he's learning how to get around here in this race car for sure.
Jimmie Johnson, in all of his success he's had with the NASCAR Sprint Cup and Nationwide, he has never won in anything in a NASCAR stock car on a road course. Wanted to change that today.
Kyle Busch still stalking Jeff Burton. This is a heck of a battle these guys are going at.
Check out, look at Kyle Busch dirt track that car. Burton is just doing a great job not making mistakes right here, holding that track position.
Well, sometimes you're good and sometimes you're lucky. Today, Jeff Burton is both good and lucky. This was the lap 3 incident. The contact that brought out the caution. Burton now back at the head of the pack. You're watching ESPN on ABC.
ESPN.
Back at Watkins Glen, New York, NASCAR Nationwide Series action, and it is getting hairy up front. You're not going to believe what happened just a moment ago. The 29 car of Jeff Burton was the leader, being chased by Kyle Busch. Here's the contact now.
These two get together and go spinning off the racetrack, back on the racetrack, do a full 360. Kyle Busch keeps the lead, or gets the lead from Burton.
Jimmie Johnson's running these guys down, but he can't go.
These other guys can't see. They're going around all this smoke.
And Kyle Busch is leading this race. You see, they're going into the last corner here.
Inside.
A little late for that.
Jeff Burton in Joey Chitwood style spins it around. There's the contact.
That's amazing.
Watch Kyle Busch just emerge from the smoke.
They're still racing here. No caution. These guys are all still racing. That couldn't have been good on those tires, though.
No, it can't be good, but
it didn't help them save
they're
fuel.
They're still running first and second.
How good is that?
You see Marcus Ambrose back there in third. This tightened the whole field up for sure, the guys at the front.
Now here comes Jimmie Johnson again. He had to basically come to a stop, Jimmie Johnson did. He thought the track was blocked because of all the smoke.
What about flat spotting tires, and what does that do? Let's go down to our Chevy cutaway car and veteran crew chief Tim Brewer.
Hey, Jerry, we got a flat spotted tire right here, folks. And what this is, this tire here, it came off a car at Indianapolis, and it spun about 140 mile an hour. But anyway, this thing here, when it gets flat, it gets to shaking so hard, the driver can't retain control of this thing. And if it's got this area down in here in the fiber, you're going to have to come in because that tire's short. It's going to go flat. Jerry?
Thank you, Tim. And that's what happens when you get when you flat spot them. It gets flat in one spot on the tire there, just all the way down to the cords. And these guys they're not letting up one bit.
That flat spot might be the least of his problems. Jeff Burton gets to his back bumper.
He got Burton working on that back bumper.
Yeah, you got an angry Jeff Burton. He's about to have got the Carfax telemetry.
Oh, Burton got in there a little hot.
Yeah, I didn't expect to see that brake pedal once he got up against him there. So now I got to chase him down again.
He's got the damage up there. You'll get him here. Just run him down.
That was the crew chief for Jeff Burton, Pat Smith. He's just trying to keep his driver calm, keep him focused. You see Kyle Busch locking that right front tire up, getting in the corner. He's trying to get in there hard so he can get away from Burton.
I got another question here. They were close on fuel anyway. They're spinning these cars around. They're wide open in the gas. We saw the tires smoking, so how much did they hurt the fuel mileage gain, too?
These guys have been dancing with the cars here, pirouetting here on Watkins Glen Racetrack. How about a little Dancing with the Stars? Folks, the wait is over. Monday, August 25th, the new cast of Dancing with the Stars will be revealed on Good Morning America. Who will be the next group of movers and shakers to light up the dance floor? ABC's Emmy-nominated Dancing with the Stars, the 3-night live premiere event begins Monday, September 22nd, only on ABC. Stanton Barrett off the track here in the 30 car and just does get the car across the racetrack and misses a car going by. We will stay green. Watch the 30 car right side.
This gets in there a little too hot. Jumps the curb. Spins her around.
Clint Boyer had some view of that action. He's seen more action than what he hoped for here today.
Meanwhile, back at the ranch up front, 92 car, Kyle Busch saying, I got to stay in front of this 29. He may not be real happy with me right now.
See if he can stay in front of it. Here's Kevin Harvick passing Dario Franchitti. I think if Kyle Busch thinks he can stay in front a few more laps, maybe Jeff Burton will cool off a little bit.
Yeah, he might want to rethink that. That was for 7th spot, by the way, the 33 and 40th with Kevin Harvick going by Dario Franchitti. Still a great run for Dario in the 40 car.
Yeah, Jeff Burton's about as mild-mannered a person and driver as you want to come up against, but you don't want to ruffle his feathers, especially when you take him out leading the race.
And Marcus Ambrose back here in the 59 car is hoping Burton can catch the 92. He says, but I'll be the beneficiary of you two guys getting together again.
Oh, we got some good racing going here.
Oh, look at this. Marcus Ambrose runs off the racetrack just a little bit. Here comes Jimmie Johnson.
And that's the opening. Jimmy wanted to take the 3rd spot away.